Welcome to Chamber Chat. I'm Judy Taylor, President of the Habersham County Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for joining us. My guests today include Dr. Mark Ivester with North Georgia Technical College, the Member of the Month, and Jeremy Dulise with Piedmont College Theater Department. And my first guest is Dr. Ivester. Welcome, Mark.
Thanks for having me today. It's good to be here.
Thank you. I really appreciate your being on Chamber Chat. And Mark, you'll be talking about a subject that's near and dear to my heart, but why is manufacturing so important to our local economy?
You know, I don't think people today still realize just how much is made in Northeast Georgia, in Habersham and Northeast Georgia. And I explained to the people that participated in our summit last week that, and you both know, sutures and needles, 85% of the ones used in the world is made right here in Habersham County. We make fire pumps that goes all over the world, fuel tanks for Toyota, Nissan, Kia, exhaust systems, cast. I could go on and on and on. Foam for mattresses are made in the next county over. So there is a lot of manufacturing. And could you imagine what we would be like if we didn't have any of that? So that's the important. And you know, the other thing is, we're 18% of the jobs in Northeast Georgia are manufacturing jobs. There's only one region in Georgia that has a higher percentage, and that's Northwest Georgia. They have 27%. So there's a lot of jobs here for manufacturing. There's a lot for our economy.
Yes, it is. And we are just always excited about manufacturing. We're always hoping to get more industry up here. And a lot of it is coming this way from North Hall County right now. If you're in North Hall County and coming up 365, that's going to be booming with industry.
That is correct. And you know, when you think about workforce, a lot of people doesn't think that the workforce is a regional thing. We get a lot of workers in Habersham County from our the adjoining counties, and we also send a lot of workers out. So even though there are businesses in surrounding counties and in Habersham County, the workforce is regional. We all share workers.
We certainly do. And just yesterday or Monday, the governor was here in Habersham County, and he announced that Kubota is putting its brand new plant this side of it's in Hall County, this side of Gainesville on 365 in that new industrial park.
Right.
650 jobs.
Oh yeah, that'll be some of our welders, I'm sure.
I am sure that. Well, Mark, let's talk about the credit and non-credit programs that North Georgia Tech has that support manufacturing. Tell our audience about that.
Sure. You know, now when you think about credit and non-credit programs at a technical college, they don't really live in silos like they used to. They kind of work together. Some of the programs that we offer too is welding. Have a new welding facility, probably the nicest one in the state. We've added some welding instructors. We also have a machine tool program, CNC as you know it, an industrial systems program which train maintenance operators for our companies. We have a new engineering program. There's 87 students in the program now, and that program automatically transfers to Southern Polytech for a four-year program. But all of the programs have had an increase over the last year, and that is a great thing to see. And we've also supported those programs. I have to say a thank you to Dr. Thaxton as she supports these programs, and the fact that we have added new and more faculty in every one of the programs. So that's what it takes. And so the other thing on the non-credit side, you know, we had companies asking us for training for entry-level manufacturing workers, and we now do what we call a certified production technician, which is a national accreditation, and it teaches in four areas: safety, quality, it has a maintenance and manufacturing processes. And this national certification, you have to take an exam in each of those four. to pass, and it's used all over the world. So it is a great way to train entry-level manufacturing
That
workers.
is wonderful. Now, is that credit or non-credit?
It is non-credit.
Okay.
But you can take, like, companies in South Carolina use it. All the automotive across the country use this. So it'll transfer anywhere. I mean, it's that as far as people recognizing it. So it's good.
Well, let's talk about, Mark, what you are doing at North Georgia Tech, and I know some of the things, and they're so exciting, but what you are doing to encourage a generation of workers to consider manufacturing, and what you're doing to create an awareness.
Right. And I call it filling the pipeline. If you think of the workforce, the skilled workforce as a pipeline, the first thing you have to do is fill the pipeline. If you think the pipeline is Habersham High School or a local high school and a technical college, and those are things, that's where you train your workforce. But if you don't fill it, if you don't encourage young people to go into that pipeline, it doesn't matter how good the pipeline is. So what we did is we sat down, we have, for the last couple of years, we have a North Georgia Tech Economic Development Council, which is made up of superintendents in our 8 counties, and it's made up of 18 manufacturing kind of CEOs.
From the different counties.
From the different counties. And we sat down and just talked about how best to do that. And we have signed on to a national initiative called Dream It, Do It. And Dream It and Do It is, and this is a national problem, finding workforce. It's not just a local problem.
You're
All
right.
across the country, we're having problems with finding manufacturing workers. So we have, we're working first to change the perception of manufacturing careers with students, changing the perception with parents, changing the perception with high school faculty and the community. And some of the things we're doing is now all counties, including Habersham, is actually taking their high school faculty out into the manufacturing area to see what's going on behind the big wall they see as they drive down the highway. So they can kind of begin to see that it's not the dirty, dingy, dangerous jobs that it was 20 years ago. So that's making a big difference. The other thing we're doing, we are doing manufacturing camps in the summer so that middle school children can take plant tours. We did one this year. We took them on 4 plant tours. They have a safety meeting every morning. They know exactly how it works in manufacturing. They actually spend time in engineering and tool and die, and so they make a little part. So they're seeing, and then finally, as you saw this last week, these manufacturing youth videos really touches the parents, it touches the schools, and it touches the students, so that they can kind of see what it looks like in one of those plants. So we're trying to build awareness that way.
Absolutely, and Mark, the manufacturing summit that you did, last week?
It was last week.
It was awesome, and that would inspire students, that would inspire parents to encourage their students to go into manufacturing.
Yes.
It was really, really good. Mark, I can't believe it. Our time is gone. We could talk all day about manufacturing,
Right.
because it is such an important part of our local economy and economic development. But thank you for being on.
Thanks for having
Chair.
me today. Yes, ma'am.
I'll have you back.
All right, that'll be great.
Thank you. We're going to take a short commercial break. Please stay with us, and we will be right back.
It's story time at the Cornelia Library. Hi, this is Alyssa inviting you to join us on Thursdays and Fridays at the Cornelia Library for story time beginning at 10 a.m. both days. There's music, songs, crafts, and lots of fun for everyone. The program is designed for ages 0 to 6, but all ages are welcome. Play, learn, and grow together at your Cornelia Library.
Thank you for staying with us. My next guest is Susan Jocelyn with Budget Towing and Recovery, and they are the Chamber's November Member of the Month. Welcome, Susan.
Thank you, Judy.
And congratulations on being the Member of the Month.
Well, we certainly appreciate the honor.
Well, you are just so welcome, very, very deserving, and we appreciate your being a Chamber member and all the help that we get from you and from your brother Robert.
Right.
I have to mention his name too.
Sure.
I don't think he's really involved in the business right now.
He did retire from the business a few years ago, and I took over, but he's indirectly involved, so yeah.
Right. That's why he has more time to work for the Chamber.
Yes, ma'am.
That is it. Well, Susan, tell us about your company. Tell us about Budget Towing and Recovery.
Well, we're a full service towing and recovery business. We're 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We do everything from 4x4 service to taking your old car to the recycle yard, or if you have an emergency out on the road, we can change your tire or we can get you out of a wreck, you know.
I got to ask for a little explanation on something, Susan.
Okay.
What is 4x4?
Well, it's just a four-wheel drive vehicle that that can go in places that normal vehicles can't go, and it has the winch on the back of it, so it can winch you out, as opposed to just pulling you up on the flatbed and taking you somewhere.
I imagine most of our viewing audience knew exactly what you were talking about. But let's talk about what service area do you cover? Now, you're located right here in Habersham County. First,
Yes.
why don't you tell our audience where you are located?
Okay, well, we work out of 293 Gatehouse Drive, which is in Clarksville, very close to Pitts Park and the bridge there on 197. We also have an office in Baldwin and an impound lot, and an office and impound lot in Cornelia.
Okay.
So we service all of the counties, and we're on all the cities' list. So that's the way the county regulates who gets towing calls, is through a list system. So we are dispatched through the 911 center.
I see. So can somebody call you directly?
Oh, certainly. That's
Okay.
just if there's an accident
I
or
see.
whatever, or state patrol is involved. But yes, if you break down on the side of the road, you just give me a call. Or if you want to go from Cornelia to Cleveland with your car, like to another shop,
Yeah, have it pulled or have it carried or whatever?
yes, we'll be
Okay.
glad to do that for you. So yes.
Okay. You want to give what that number is if they want to call you?
Yes, it's 706-754-5199.
Okay, and you are located just above Clarksville. Actually, it looks as if you're located on 197, but you're really off a little road there.
Yes, yes.
Well,
Just
let's
right
talk
there.
about this now. Do you take insurance? Because I think that if I were off on the road and I broke down, that I would probably want my insurance to cover my towing service.
Right. Well, and we do accept that. Sometimes your insurance requires that you have a pre-authorization, or you can call your insurance directly and request us. But a lot of times, folks will just call their insurance and then they dispatch whomever they choose. But if you have a request, then you can request us. But also, you're usually reimbursed because, of course, we give you a receipt. So if you wanted to turn that back in to your insurance company, you can do that. So,
Right. Well, let's go back to a question for just a second. Now, you take calls 24 hours a day,
I do.
but your office is not open 24 hours a day.
No.
I know. And you probably just have an answering service, don't you?
No, ma'am, I physically answer the phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
You do?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So it sits right there wherever I am, and it's sitting on the table over there now, on silent, of course. But anyway, so yes, I take all the calls myself. But we're open, like if you had an accident and your car was in our impound lot, then we're open 9 to 5. Monday through Friday, and 9 to 12 on Saturdays to pick up your car, or to get, if you've had an accident, usually you don't get all the things out of your car, or you left your sunglasses and you need to come back and get them, and so we're there for that. But
Right.
all you got to do is call me.
So you never are very far away from your telephone.
No, ma'am, never.
You stay connected.
Yes.
So, Susan, why have you chosen to do business in Habersham County? I think I know because you're family, but tell the audience, why do you do business in Habersham County?
Well, we're born and raised here in Habersham County, and it's just near and dear to our heart. Habersham County is a special place. Our whole family has traveled all over, but we always come back here to Habersham County. And this is where we have family, and this is where we have our ties. And we want to be in a place that we can treat folks the way we want to be treated. So our service is courteous and prompt and professional, and that's the way we want to represent Habersham County.
And you do.
Well, thank you.
And you actually, you really, really do, and that's one reason that you are member of the month. But Susan, you're Susan Jocelyn.
Right.
But I believe your daddy helped start that business.
Yes.
And let's tell who he is, because that name, that Nichols name,
Right.
will mean something to a lot of people.
Right. And of course, if someone called me Susan Nichols, I'd still answer to that. But but my dad was Wallace Nichols, and my brothers Robert Nichols and David Nichols, and my mother was Rachel Nichols. And so, but my dad and my mom have both passed away now, and so we just carry on what their dream was.
But the name Nichols is well known in Habersham County.
Right.
It's well known and it's well respected. So I'm assuming that you went to Habersham Central High School.
I did.
All right. Oh, well, Susan, tell our audience very quickly, why should someone choose Budget Towing?
Because we'll give you prompt, reliable service.
Very good. Susan, thank you for being on Chamber Chat today. And again, congratulations on being the Member of the Month.
Oh, thank you, Judy.
And we're going to take another short commercial break, and we will be right back. Please stay with us.
It's story time at the Cornelia Library. Hi, this is Alyssa inviting you to join us on Thursdays and Fridays at the Cornelia Library for story time beginning at 10 a.m. both days. There's music, songs, crafts, and lots of fun for everyone. The program is designed for ages 0 to 6, but all ages are welcome. Play, learn, and grow together at your Cornelia Library.
Thank you for staying with us. Our last guest today is Jeremy Dulise with Piedmont College Theater Department. Welcome, Jeremy.
Thank you so much for having me.
I've been excited about having
Oh,
you.
good. I'm so glad.
Because I enjoy the productions at Piedmont College.
Well, good. We hope everyone does.
Well, tell us about your upcoming productions. Tell us about, I guess you kind of have a year, like a 2015 year.
We do.
Okay.
We do. We are currently in our 2014-2015 season.
Mm-hmm.
We just kicked off the season back in early October with the production of Sweet Charity. And now we're working on a production called Hush, An Interview with America, which opens the third weekend of November. It follows an 11-year-old girl named Maggie, who becomes an overnight media sensation when a reporter releases an article saying that she sees angels in her backyard.
Oh my goodness.
And it begs the question, can fantasy survive in a world with a 24-hour news cycle? So that's coming up in our Black Box, directed by Kathy Blandon. And then moving into next semester, we have 2 productions. In February, we'll be presenting Macbeth on our main stage. And then in April, we'll move back into the Black Box with a production of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, directed by Bill Gablehausen.
That's an old one.
That's an old one, an oldie but goodie.
Yes.
And we're really excited to be bringing it. And the Black Box is going to provide a really, really intimate experience for that production, which should be a lot of fun for audiences and students.
Well, they all sound like blockbusters to me. They sound good. But tell me, Jeremy, why does your department pick these specific productions that it does?
Well, the faculty tries really, really hard to balance educational value with entertainment value. They want to provide the community with a show that is engaging and entertaining and also challenging, but they also want to provide students with roles and productions that will allow them to grow and thrive. So balancing those 2 elements is what brings them to deciding the 4 shows for the main stage season.
Right, because that is part of their curriculum. I mean, that's what they're studying.
That's right.
So I know that they do have to bring certain aspects of all kinds of productions.
That's right.
Into it. Well, tell the audience, how has the theater department grown and changed over the last few years?
Well, since we moved into the Swanson Center several years ago, we've been able to grow exponentially.
I believe that.
Having a space as beautiful as the Swanson Center gives us the opportunity to work and perform in a beautiful location that makes students want to come to us. So we've been really blessed with that building, and it has allowed us, we're now at over 50 majors. We have 4 full-time faculty members and 2 adjunct faculty members. So our faculty is growing, and it's been wonderful to see the growth over the past couple years.
Do you have students from several states coming in?
We do.
I would think you attract students from way out.
We do. We have students from several states. We also occasionally will have a student through the Rotary Exchange program. Last year we had Sarah Sharp. She was a freshman theater major from England. So
I'm in Rotary, so I remember that.
Oh, great. So you know Sarah. So it was great to have her last year.
And she had that English or British accent.
She did, which we used.
I'm sure you did.
We used.
I'm sure that you did. Well, now tell me what types of degrees are available.
Well, we have 5 degrees available.
Wow.
The first is the BA in Theater Arts, and it's the kind of general degree that covers all areas of theater, from performance to design and technology to theater management, all of the above. Then we have some more specific degrees. We have a BA in Design and Technical Theater. We have a BA in Musical Theater. We have a BA in Theater for Youth. And we have a BFA in Arts Administration, which is done in conjunction with the art and music departments.
Okay, now all those were bachelor's degrees.
All of those are bachelor's degrees.
Do you have a master's degree in
Not currently.
theater?
Not currently. The Piedmont does offer master's degrees in education, and we do offer a certification-only program for graduate students who want to be certified to teach drama in K through 12 education.
Very good. Well, now tell me about the professional company, North Georgia Theater. I'm not sure what that is, and I don't think our audience would know, so you explain it to us.
North Georgia Theater is a professional summer stock company that comes out of the Piedmont College theater department. So it's a group of select students that come and spend 6 to 8 weeks during the summer producing 2 to 3 full-length productions. We mentioned 9 to 5 before the interview started. That was actually a North Georgia Theater production. They're fully professional. Everyone's paid to be there. And it gives students a stepping stone into what a professional theatrical environment is like.
Well, now, are these students at other colleges?
Occasionally. Most of the students at North Georgia Theater come from Piedmont, but we also hire out of the Southeastern Theater Conference and bring in students from other colleges as well as occasionally a guest artist that has extensive professional experience.
Interesting. Well, now, how does that theater company differ from just the Piedmont College productions?
Well, on the surface, the shows probably look close to being the same. You, as an audience member, you won't notice much difference between a North Georgia Theater production or a Piedmont College Theater production. What's really different is the process. Whereas during the school year, where we have 10, sometimes 12 weeks to put together one production, over the summer we have 6 to 8 weeks to put together 2 or 3.
Wow.
And a lot less people to do it. So the workload is a lot more intense over the summer, and it really can tell a student whether or not they're cut out to do theater professionally.
And most of those students are probably staying in the dorms.
That's right.
During the summer.
The school houses them in the dorms. Our guest artists generally live off campus, but the students stay in the dorms. Yep.
Well, tell our audience how they can get tickets for your productions and kind of what's the price range.
Well, there are 2 ways to get tickets. One is the old tried and true way. You can call us at 706-778-8500, extension 1355, and talk to any of our box office staff. They're always ready and willing to take your call. You can also now, we just launched an online ticketing system, and if you go to www.piedmont.edu/FA for fine arts and click on PC Theater Schedule, and then just select the show you'd like to buy tickets for, and you can buy tickets online now too. Tickets generally range from $5 to $10 for our production, and as always, Piedmont faculty, staff, and students are free.
And that is so reasonable. So our community should just get up there and watch these because we're fortunate to have Piedmont College in our community.
Well, we certainly hope they do.
Jeremy, thank you for being on Chamber Chat.
Thanks so much for having me.
Well, we appreciate it. And I usually end with a quote. And my quote today is about manufacturing. It's inspired by the first guest, Dr. Ivester, but it is by Warren Bennis. And it says, the factory of the future will have only 2 employees, a man and a dog. The man will be there to feed the dog. The dog will be there to keep the man from touching the equipment or the technology. Thank you for joining us today, and we will see you next time.